Hi everyone, this is Julie Reinhart, and I'm going to show you how to use Google Calendar for the Level 1 Google testing session. So the very first thing that you have to do is go to your Google Calendar, and you can get there however you would like to. I like to go over here to my waffle. I click on my waffle, and I go to my calendar. Now the calendar you're going to see here has lots of things on it, so I'm going to switch this and go to a calendar that I don't use all that much. That way, it's a clean slate for us. So here is my calendar, and as you can tell, there's not a whole lot in here, which is fine. So the very first thing that we need to do is create a calendar. So to create a calendar, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to push this plus symbol. When I push this plus symbol, I get a couple different things. I'm going to do a new calendar. This new calendar, I'm going to give it a name, and I'm going to say Practice Google certification. So then that's basically all this is. And then I'm going to come over here and create my calendar. So now my calendar is being created. And if I come over here, I'm going to see it over here. So I'm going to get out of my settings. And now I see my Practice Google Calendar, and it's in the orange. If I want to change the color, I can change the color to whatever I want. So I'm going to change it to grape there. I like that purple color. So now within this calendar, I want to create an event. So there's several different ways of doing this as well. I like to actually click on the date, and right here it is. Or I could come down here to this plus symbol and it will create an event. So from here, I can say dentist appointment. And then I can make sure that the date is correct. I'm going to say it's for the 31st. My time, let's say it's at 1 p.m. and then obviously till 2 p.m. And then I can decide whether I want this to repeat all day or does not repeat. Since this is a dentist appointment, I am not going to have it repeated. I can also add the location just by typing it in, Dr. Leffler, Massillon, Ohio. And see if nothing came up there, which is fine. So, but I already know where it's at. So let's just say I want to click one of these. I can, and then it will go to whom I want. So I'm not going to collect any of those because they're not really it. So from there, right here is my calendars. And remember, I want it to be in my grape color because that's where it's at. And I want to come down here to my Practice Google certification. I do not want to put it under my Julie Reinhart one. I want to put it under my Practice certification. And then from here, I could say, make sure I mark as busy. I can add a description of it if I would like to, or anything like that. So let's go ahead and save this. So I'm saving it, and there's my dentist appointment. Now, let's pretend that we have a meeting that is going to be weekly. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to say tech meeting, and I'm going to make this every Monday, and say it's at 10 in the morning until 11 in the morning. I want it to repeat, so I'm going to click this does not repeat. And then I can decide weekly on Mondays, monthly, but I'm going to customize this. So I'm going to come down to customize. I'm going to repeat once a week on Mondays. I want it to end though because school ends in May. So I don't want it to go all through my summer. So I'm going to end it on May 31st. And then I'm going to push done. From here, I got to make sure I add it to the right calendar, which is my Practice Google certification. Now, let's say I have an agenda that I want to put on here. So I come down here and I can add my attachment, or I can add a link or whatever. So I'm going to add my attachment. And here are some recent things I have. So I'm going to pick one and I'm going to select it. Now, once it's in there, I got to remember to push save. Now, the trick is though, you have to push save just because I know everything in Google is already saved, but since I'm creating the event, I want to push save. I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to add some guests. So some guests, I can put my Massillon School one. I can add Alice Johnston because she is part of my team. Alice Johnston at MassillonSchools.org, and then I'm going to add her. So then I can also decide guests can modify the event. They can also invite others or see guest lists. So I'm going to just invite them because this is all I want them to be able to do. And then once I do that, I'm going to come up and push save. Now, would I like to send the invitations? Absolutely. So I'm going to send that invitation out, and these people need to act. So I'm going to invite them. And now on there, it says they're just going to be able to view. But right there, I invited 2 people with my calendar. So then another thing I can do, if I come up here to my Practice Google, which is the purple, and hit these 3 dots. So I come into the settings, so go ahead and click the setting and sharing. From here, I can share, I can make my calendar public, which means that I'm going to give other people the access to my calendar, and they can make changes to it if I want. You don't have to do that, and that's only if you want other people to make your calendar, be able to change some things. So now I want to be able to share this with people. So like I said, I'm going to share it with my my email accounts from school, and I'm going to push send. And that's all I need to do right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and look here. You do not have to push save. It's already there. So then my Julie Reinhardt at MassillonSchools.org, I will get an invite saying that I can see this. So to get out of settings, I'm going to push this back button. Now up here, let's click on my tech meeting. One thing, and then we're going to edit it. To edit it, you push this little purple circle. One thing I didn't do is add a notification. So I'm going to come here and push add a notification. And I want to be notified about 20 minutes before my meeting. And then I'm going to even set up a maybe an email one day before. That way I know, oh yeah, don't forget I have that meeting. Once I change my my reminders, I have to push save. And then it's going to say, do I want to do that with all of them? Yes, I want to do this with this event and all of them to come up. Make sure you push OK. And those are, is going to remind me of those things. So in this presentation, we talked about creating a calendar. We created an event. We shared our calendar. We set reminders. I showed you how to attach a document. And then I showed you how to invite people. Very lastly, one thing you have to do is you have to use your calendar to check for availability. So once again, I come up here. I'm going to edit. So my edit button. And what I need to do is I'm waiting for these 2 people to see if they're available. So I come to more options and I'll be able to see, but right now they did not check that they're okay. So once again, to check to see if somebody's available, you just would click on their names and you would be able to see that. But right now we're not able to do that, being that we don't have it. So if there's any questions, please feel free to call or to email me at jreinhardt@massillonschools.org. Thanks.